actual stick. We've got our cut. We've got a little bit of preparation that we need to do to start off. First and foremost, you want to glove up. You want all of your utensils, your scissors, your trays, all of your containers. You want everything to be really, really clean and sterile. You're setting up a perfect environment. Once we've added this dome, it's going to keep the humidity level around 99 to 100% in there. And that's going to baby this cut so that it has time to form a callus and put on roots. That's the same environment, unfortunately, that's going to grow Pythium, Fusarium, Botrytis, powdery mildew, and all the bad guys. So start off clean. Do yourself a favor. Another thing you want to do is take your rock wool cubes and pH those in advance. The rock wool cubes are actually fairly alkaline. A lot of people don't know that. And so you want to pH these somewhere around 5.2 to 5.5. And that's going to make a much nicer home for your roots to get started in. You're also going to want a little bit of rooting hormone. There's a lot of different ones, powdered ones, liquid ones. They all work essentially the same, and they're all about equally effective. We worked with a bunch of them. So now you've got all of your supplies ready and you're ready to do your cut. All right, so we've got our cut, and the first thing we want to do is clean it up a little bit. What you want to do is slow down the transpiration on your plant, and so you need to remove some of the leaves. What we're going to do is take a nice clean cut right up against the stem and remove all these lower portions. So now that I've got a nice little crown and I've got all my bottom nodes stripped off, and this is something that some people like to do, some people don't like to do. I've read white papers that have said this isn't the best way to do it, but experience of 34 years has told me that this works great for us. And so what we like to do is just pull the plant up a little bit and give it a quick haircut. And what that does is, one, you've got less leaf, so you're going to have less transpiration. And then two, when I put this into a crowded tray, I'm not going to have to worry about the leaves overlapping as much. And that way I have less opportunity for pathogen to take over in my dome. And that's really important to us, especially here in South Carolina, where we're always up against really high humidity. So once I've got it cleaned up, I'm going to come down several nodes. Here's my first node, second node, third node. I like to make a cut at least 5 nodes down. This one has a 6th and 7th node right beside each other. So I'm going to take a cut right here. And again, I mentioned earlier that your roots are going to try to come off of the nodes. So if you can take a cut angularly through that bottom node, I've now exposed those cells to potentially forming roots, and I've got a node just above it that will also be covered in the stick. And that gives me twice as many opportunities for roots. So that's my ideal cut. So now I'm going to get rooting hormone, and I'm going to get it on my stick, and I'm going to place it in the cube. One thing I really like to stress is I don't ever go into the middle of the cube. That pre-made hole, I don't feel like it seats well, and so the plant can kind of bounce around in there. And if it's loose, way more likely to get pathogen, way less likely to get roots. And so you want to get a nice tight cut. You'll get comfortable after doing thousands and thousands and thousands of these of where you need to push it down. I think it's a good rule for people who are starting to kind of hold the stick so that they can mark where it's going to be, the halfway mark. And that way you know that you've kind of hit the halfway mark, because you don't want to come out the bottom and you don't want to be too shallow where it falls out. Both of those are going to cause your plant to fail and your cut to fail. So once you've got it stuck appropriately, you've got the rooting hormone on, you've trimmed up the leaves, you're going to put the dome on. After that, you can start to vent the cut. And you would just open them all the way, and then depending on the level of humidity in the dome, just through experience, through monitoring, you are going to either open this dome or close it more in order to control that humidity. So it's a pretty simple device. It's the way that people have been doing propagation for a long time. On scale, there's other ways that we do this, but as far as taking an individual cut, putting it into a clone dome, this is how we do it here at BrightMa Farms.